Ladies and gentlemen, Vin at 10 starts right now.
We call him Vin Dog. He's Vinny to me. And if you know, he was like one of the guys that was raised up with Rick Dees. And I don't know if you guys ever remember Rick Dees. This guy is a guy, my friend Vinny, who's been pretty persecuted. He's been pretty beat up in the world in which he lives, the secular radio DJ world. This guy was a big name on all the big radio stations, and people have always really loved him, but he's always been unapologetic about his faith. And I know him really well, and anytime the guy gives me any info about anything that's going on, I typically blindly trust it because he does a very good job at researching his info, kind of like Monkey is to me.
Hey, what's up? It's Rick Dees in the morning. Don't forget to wake up with me right here. But right now, Vin Dog.
I've asked Vin Dog to bring his DJ voice. He's an interviewer, and so that's what we're going to be doing today. So please welcome my good friend Vin Dog, and we're going to be taking questions at the end as we usually
Breaking Barriers is all about. My brother, Mr. Ryan Tillman. How you doing, man?
Big Vin Dog, what's going on, my brother? I am doing well. How you doing today?
Actor, author, extraordinaire, the man. He does it all. My brother, Christopher Palaha. What's up, man?
What's up, Big Dog?
Don't let the government be your daddy. You are self-governed.
Lover of God, America, and people. Captain America himself, Vin Dog Radio.
Yes, indeed. Captain America himself, Vin Dog Radio. Sorry for the late start. Of course, the overlords at YouTube were talking to us in the first 5 minutes. I don't know what I did, but that's awesome. Love and follow this channel. Subscribe to this channel right now. We're also live on Twitter. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I have a wonderful guest in the house. He's a great brother of mine, and I guess we got some practice in the first hour. My man, Mr. Rudy Recile, is in the house. I think we're here, Rudy. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry about that. We did a whole hour just between you and I. Hey, welcome. All I can say is welcome to the club. My show got taken off after the second episode. We didn't even make it to episode 3 on YouTube. Didn't even make it to episode 3.
So I'm lucky that I have at least 30 to 40 shows on here then, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is definitely true. I mean, holy Moses, we didn't make it to episode 3. And shoot, we didn't even make it to 5 minutes within the show.
Hey, that's funny. So now let's talk about you, Rudy Recile, the man who was running for a seat in the Fairfield area against Mr. Garamendi himself.
Yep, that's Congressional District 8. That's Congressional District 8. So if you live or in shouting distance of the town of Fairfield, Richmond, downtown, explicitly, believe it or not, explicitly downtown Martinez, Pittsburgh, Antioch, or Benicia, you're in my district. You are in my district. So I am one of the candidates that are running. I don't know who else is going to be running in this cycle, but I'll definitely be running up against a machine that is known as John Garamendi. John Garamendi, the vanilla congressman.
How old is that guy? Like 130?
Something like that. I mean, he's using a 15-year, maybe a 20-year-old picture, on his billboards and on his ads and whatnot. But man, if you look at him, he's definitely been rode hard, put away wet one too many times.
He's like 10 sheets to the wind.
Yeah, well, I mean, just take a look at all those people that are in Congress. Holy crap! Dianne Feinstein, what is she pushing 90? She pushing 90?
Yeah.
Holy crap! And how long has she been in Congress? She's been in Congress since the 70s.
My
Somewhere
goodness.
in there.
I don't know. I couldn't go that long. If it were me, I'd say, you know what? It's time for me to hang it up. I can't go this long.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and Nancy Pelosi, she's pushing what, 83, 84, something like that? I
Wait a minute, I
mean,
thought she was like 119 or something.
no, 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 no. That's the current our current president, you know. He's
Oh,
been
yes,
around since
yes,
the
yes.
founding. He's been around since the founding, I think. Or at
Wow,
least
yeah,
since
yeah,
Corn
yeah.
Pop was out. He's
Yeah,
been
yeah.
around that long.
I thought he was talking
Doing
about, like, the Corn Pops, the cereal or something, you know?
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of old people that are in Congress. I don't think there should be term limits. I think there should be age limits. I think there should be age limits. If you are old enough to take the full amount of Social Security at age 70,
Yes.
unless if they
Uh-huh.
increase it, because they're talking about increasing it, right? But
Mhm.
if you're old enough to take Social Security, you do not need to be in Congress. You've done your bit, you've done your time. See you later. And so far as term limits are concerned, get out and vote.
Yeah, get
That's your
out and
term
vote
limit.
quickly. Yes.
That's your term limit. Get out
Mhm.
and vote. You need to vote those people out. That's as simple as it gets. You need to
Mhm.
vote that person out. You don't have to vote for the other party. Just vote for somebody within your party that's not that person.
Yeah, yeah, do
That's
that.
as simple
Yes.
as it gets.
Yes, it is super vital that you do that too. So, Rudy, you served our country for 26 years, right?
Yep, 26 years in the military. I was in the Army. See, look at my hat. See, I'm a veteran. I was in the Army for 26 years. I retired out in 2014.
Oh, wow. Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you for your support. And it's really about that support because I'm telling you, our service members that are in our soldier, sailor, airmen, Marines, Space Force now, Army Reserves, and
Space Force.
and shout out to the National Guard because I'm telling you, without the National Guard, we'd be in a world of hurt. We'd be in
Yes,
a
we
world of
would.
hurt. So, but
Yes.
shout out to those guys. But less than 1%, less than 1% of our constituency, of our citizens of the United States, less than 1% serve in the in the military. Less than 1%.
Wow, that's an astronomical number to protect 328 million people.
Yeah, well, is it more like 350? We've had a
Yeah.
lot of people come over the border recently.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One of the borders, I think it was a northern border. A lot of those Canadians, they've been coming down, overstaying their welcome. Those Canadians, I mean, holy mackerel!
Or
Come,
they're just trying to escape tyranny right now.
yeah, exactly. Maybe we should go up and save them. Maybe we should
Yeah.
go up and save them. If we're going to save
Mhm.
anybody, we should go up and save the Canadians. But yeah, yeah, you're correct. Less than 1% of our of the citizens of the United States are serving today to protect our country, and
Mhm.
less than 7% of all veterans who are alive who have ever
Mhm.
served, less than 7% of our population has ever served. Think about that. Has
Wow.
ever served that are
That's
alive today.
insane. That's an insane number.
And that's going back right now, that's going back to World War II, because there are a few World War II vets still alive. I think the last World War I vet passed away recently,
Mhm.
within the last 5 years. And so now we're losing our veterans that are in from World War II. I know a few Korean War vets. One of the guys that was part of one of my foundations, one of the organizations that I'm with, he passed away just last year in July. He was 94 and he served in a Korean War. So we're losing our vets left and right, and less of them are joining. And even with first responders, they're having problems with first responders joining to protect our local cities, not just our veterans that are protecting us around the globe globally, but our first responders, less and less people are signing up to do those jobs. I mean,
Boy, that's a crazy number when you think
yeah.
about it.
I mean, when you call when stuff goes bad, what do you dial? You dial 911 and you hope that somebody's going to
Yep.
show up to your door, male or female, doesn't make a difference. That's going to protect you, right? That's going to
Mhm.
take care of, whatever problem that you may be encountering at that moment. Even Paul Pelosi called 911. Okay?
Oh
Paul
boy,
Pelosi, he
we
called
know what that was
911,
all about.
and we saw what happened when he called them. Those
Mhm. They
videos
showed
were
up.
just released. And if those police personnel were not there, what would have happened to him?
Mm-hmm.
That dude would have been bludgeoned to
Oh
death.
man,
He would not have made it to the hospital.
pretty much, pretty much.
So, you know,
But they wanted, but their side of the fence wants to defund the
right.
police.
Exactly. Oh, and then they want to
Mhm.
retrain the police. No, what they want to do is they
Oh.
want to give money. They want to give money to those groups that are going to go in and make our first responders less responsive because they don't know whether or not they should shoot or not, or whether or not they should intervene or not. Because
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that's what they're doing. They're
Wow.
making money off of, oh, you have to be sensitive. You have to take care. No, you need to protect me. Pull out your gun and protect me. That's what you need to do. My life is in danger. My
Mhm.
family's in danger. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you were
Right.
called upon to do. That's why you protect and serve. Isn't that the motto of the
So did you?
police?
So speaking of that, and like you said, there's a shortage of first responders,
Mm-hmm.
right? Uh, this is where I believe that the Second Amendment comes into play. Um, did you know that the state of Florida declared itself a constitutional carry state
Mm-hmm.
recently?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Florida.
Well, right next door to our state, you can open carry in Nevada. You can
Yeah.
open carry in Nevada. Last time we were, Charlie and I were in Nevada. We went into a grocery store and there was a guy open carry.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's next door. That's next door because we're in California. Nevada's right next door. Open carry in Nevada, and that's not necessarily a red state. That's not a red state.
No.
That's a kind of a purplish kind of state.
You know what's crazy? That even the state of Oregon, they love their guns.
Mm-hmm. That's how come they'll never be able to repeal the Second Amendment. That's how come they'll never ever
Mhm.
be able to repeal the Second Amendment. They won't be able to repeal it because,
Yeah.
the purpose of the Second Amendment is to defend so that the citizenry can defend itself against a tyrannical democratic government. Because you know what democracy always leads
Mhm.
to, right?
Yeah. Communism control.
Exactly. And that's what
Stalinist.
that's what it's there for. And did you
Mhm.
hear that just recently our illustrious president, I won't say his name, but our illustrious president said that you can't take on the federal government. You need F-15s in order to take over the federal government. So is he advocating for us to have F-15s? Can I go out and buy an F-15?
I guess that's what he wants. I think we better call in order for some
Yeah,
F-15s.
because under what he says and under the Second Amendment, hey, I can have an F-15. Why not? Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty
he didn't say
much.
repeal the Second Amendment. I mean,
He just said we need F-15s
to take on the federal government, and that's what the Second Amendment's
Yes.
there for, is so that we can
So
defend our.
let's put in our order. Let's put in our order right
Yeah, that'd be
now.
cool, and I could use a Gatling gun.
Mhm. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That would work. Some 30 millimeter rounds. That'd be nice. But that's
Oh
what the Second
man.
Amendment's there for. It's not for hunting. And if you think
No, it's
they
not.
didn't have if you think that they did not have automatic weapons back in the day when our Constitution was written, if we didn't have weapons that could fire more than one round in a hot second, look up a pickle gun. Look up a pickle gun. They had them back then. Pickle
Yeah.
guns. They could fire more than one round at
Bro.
in a heartbeat.
Mhm.
So don't give.
Are people that naive right now, do you think?
Well, they said on the mainstream media you couldn't own a cannon back then. Yes, you could.
Yeah.
Who do you
That
think
was
funded
legal.
the Revolutionary War? It was
The people
private citizens who owned ships, and those ships had a way to defend themselves. And on those ships, they had cannons. Those cannons weren't purchased by the federal government. They were purchased by private citizens who the federal government took these privateers and said, hey, you know what? If you're out there in the ocean and you kind of see, the Union Jack flying around, do me a favor, take it out, please. We'll pay you for it. You can keep the spoils, but it takes a
Yeah.
cannon to do that. It takes a cannon to do that. And even all the way Civil War, a
right.
lot of brigades were raised by millionaires. People
Mhm.
at the time who had the means, they said, hey, I need a brigade. You know, you come over here, I'm going to supply you the guns, the cannons, you know, the wagons, go off and fight the war.
Dude, that's insane, right?
Oh, Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
He contracted Tiffany's. Hello, Tiffany's for Gatling guns. He
Wow.
contracted Tiffany's. They make jewelry.
At breakfast at Tiffany's, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But he contracted with Tiffany's so that he and his Rough Riders could, you know, go walk up San Juan Hill. You know?
Wow. A lot of it's so crazy that you mentioned all of this. A lot of people don't know the history.
No, they don't.
And they just go with what the media says.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
communist narrative network said to do this.
Right.
Who cares what
Exactly.
they say? Who cares about what they
Yeah.
say? They're not even for you.
Yeah. And supposedly they want to defend, you know, and we know who they are. They want to be able to defend, you know, people whom are disabled, right? You know, they think that we need to defend those people who are unable to defend themselves, right? So, but did you hear recently? They're making arm braces, hand pistol arm braces illegal.
What?
Yes. Arm braces that are designed to help a person who is incapable of holding a hand pistol with two hands. That's what the arm brace is for. That's the purpose of an arm brace.
Bro, they are really going hard right now, aren't
So
they?
they're trying to make it illegal for a disabled person to defend themselves.
What kind of a country are we living in right now? It sounds like an oligarchy right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about the elites who want to control everybody else. And there's those people who support the elites to control everybody else, and they are one of everybody else,
Yeah,
and
and
they're
it's
voting for
amazing
those
to me
people.
that people want the government to be their daddies.
Yeah, and has the government ever really done anything well?
No.
I mean, every time the government sticks their hands into something, it never goes well.
No,
It
it all
never
goes
does well.
wrong.
It always goes wrong.
Yeah.
But it's very rare. I mean, Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution basically says that there's a myriad of things that the government should do, but one of those things is protect our borders. Are we doing that well now?
Dun, dun, dun. Absolutely not.
Yep, exactly. I mean, that's what we're supposed to. That's what government's supposed to be doing. You know, they're supposed to protect our borders, protect our citizenry. You know, they're supposed to create money, which they're doing hand over fist now. You know,
Mhm.
they have the power to levy taxes if they need to, and that was only supposed to be temporary. That wasn't supposed to be permanent. But you know, have they done anything well? And now they're trying to hire another 87,000 tax uh tax inspectors, okay, tax officers to tax whom? Who are they taxing?
The
They're not
poor.
taxing the rich. They're not going to tax the rich. You know why? Because the rich have money. The
Yes.
rich have money and they can hire good lawyers. Do
Yeah,
you have a good
absolutely.
lawyer? Do you have a good tax lawyer that can
No, no, no,
defend
no,
you
no. No, I'm
if you got
hey,
taken to court?
that's above my pay grade.
Yeah. So, yeah, make a deal with the IRS to pay your debt over the next 10 years, you know, an additional $250 a month because you misplaced a comma, or, you know, go to court.
Mhm. Wow, insane. Just clinically
87,000.
insane.
Why are
Yeah.
they hiring 87,000 new tax people?
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in just a second, but I wanted you to check this out.
More about a suspected polygamous leader from northern Arizona. DPS pulled over 46-year-old Samuel Bateman in August on Highway 89 near Flagstaff. Deputies
Doesn't it sound like pedophilia going on here?
Yeah, boy, Jason Bateman really lost. I mean, boy, he let himself go, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
found several underage girls in a trailer that he was pulling. The FBI believes they were being trafficked across state lines. He's accused of having 20 wives, many of them underage, along with trying to apparently marry his own daughter.
I don't think I need to play anymore after that.
No, you don't. You don't.
That
I
just
mean,
shows you this is sick.
yes, it is. It is. And people, you know, but you know, he was just bringing them to this country because they needed to escape the tyranny from where they came from. They're refugees.
Sex
Right?
trafficking rings on steroids, man. That's
But they
what this
needed to
is.
come here. I mean,
Yeah. I wanted to help them.
exactly. Exactly. It's like, give me a break. What's 1% of a million? What's 1% of a million? 1,000?
Yeah,
Right,
pretty
1,000.
much.
So, would you allow 1,000 criminals in your presence? You
No.
know? Well,
I would dismiss them in a certain way,
mhm,
if you know what I
right.
mean.
But would
Yeah.
would you want 10 criminals that who don't care about you, who could potentially harm you, near you? 10.
No.
Would you allow,
No.
1, mind you?
Not even one, brother. Not even one.
It's like, holy crap.
This is insane.
Sure, just, let people come over the border. Would you let just people to come into your house randomly? Would you unlock your doors, open up your doors, and just allow random strangers to come into your house, start eating your food, and
No.
just
That's a problem.
so why would we let them over the border? Why would we have a process to allow people to come into our country. It's called the
Mhm.
immigration system. You come in, you file, put in paperwork, get interviewed, you go through the whole process. Some people take, just to get a green card, okay? And people get that green card. They wait 10 years. 10 years after they get the green card just to become a citizen. But there's a
Yeah.
process. There's
Yeah.
a proper process to do that.
Yes, indeed, there is a process. Now, I want you to take a look at this real quick,
Mhm.
Rudy, because this is a big part of the problem too. Look at
Yes.
that. Look at that. Is that
And that's
crazy or
happening in
what?
our country. These are legal citizens
In
within our
our
country
country.
that are doing that.
In our country. Do you know why this is happening? Because people with a so-called moral compass are not standing up, or they're saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna, step along just to get along."
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm like, really? You're gonna be in lockstep, huh?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, sounds like what Lyndon Johnson wanted the black people to be. The next 100
No, he
years,
said
he
200.
said.
Was it 100 or
Yeah, oh
200
yeah, he
years?
said next. Yeah, I think you're right. He said the next
Yep.
200
Yep.
years.
I'll have them voting Democrat for the next 200 years.
Next 200
Mhm.
years. I'm giving them what they think that they
Mhm.
want.
That's exactly correct. That's exactly
Oh
correct. It's
my
absolutely
gosh.
terrible. And people do this blindly. The people do this blindly. That's
Mhm.
how come, our churches we need, you know, I like that old saying, you need Jesus. You need Jesus. You need to
Yeah.
get back in church. But not
Yeah.
just get back in church, our pastors, our clergymen, rabbis, priests, imams, I don't care, whoever you are, if you're
Mhm.
a clergyman, you need to start speaking up about these things. You need to speak up. Prop 1 should have never passed.
Mhm.
Should have never passed. Less than 29% of church-going people voted in the last cycle in the state of California. Less than 29%.
That's
That
crazy,
makes no
man.
sense to me. And Prop 1 passed because of that. And Prop 1, for those of you who don't know, in the state of California, wants to codify abortion into the Constitution of the state of California. There's nowhere in the Constitution that makes it that says anything about abortion. Nothing. You've got the
Mhm.
right to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Life. The number one thing. The first thing on the list is life. You have a right to life. So when life is created, when life is there, that life has a right. As a matter of fact, in our property laws in the United States, before a child is born, you hear that, Vin? Before
Yes.
a child is born,
Yes.
they
Yes.
have rights.
That's
They
right.
have rights. They have property rights. They have
Yes,
property
they
rights
do.
before they're ever born. You
And if
know?
people want to argue with Rudy on that, go get yourself an article of the Constitution.
Mhm. Well, in our laws, they have rights
Yes.
because
Yes.
you have an heir, what they call an heir apparent. Before a child is ever born, they are an heir apparent, meaning that if you buy a piece of property, your child has the right to that property before the child is ever born.
Everybody get yourself a copy.
You know? And that's before the child is ever born. That child has got the right to own your property before it's born. So if a child has got a right to own a property before they're ever born, then and they have rights, don't they have rights to live? Aren't they protected under the Constitution as well?
100%, 100% protected under the Constitution.
Because we all
And
have
and
rights.
you know, today I'm going after the woke industrial complex because churches have become a part of it. Only less than 10% of churches in America think from a biblical worldview. Less than 10%.
And pastors are
that's
being
the problem.
and they're all being quiet about it.
Mhm.
They're all
Oh,
being
man.
quiet about it because they feel that, we don't want to lose our 501c3 status. Well, then change your status.
Yeah, change your freaking status today.
You can become a 508c1a. Look it up. 508c1a, a faith-based organization. Or are you or do you not want to declare your faith? Is that what you're saying if you're going to say
I think
this
that's what it is.
501c3?
I think they just want to fill the pews. They want those itching ears.
No, they just want the money, Joel Osteen.
Yes, yeah, that too. Yeah, they want that Joel Osteen money. All right,
Yeah.
so
Sorry.
but listen to what happens when people don't speak up. Check this
Sources
out.
tell ABC News there's been a strong reaction to the raid on extremist and QAnon-related forums.
Sources say there's been a strong reaction to the raid on extremist and QAnon-related forums.
Sources also telling ABC News there's been a strong reaction from some extreme groups online, including QAnon and other groups.
There's been a strong reaction to the raid on extremist and QAnon-related forums,
including those that were active before January 6th.
Including those that were active prior to January 6th.
What?
Including those that were active prior to January 6th.
Involved in the January 6th insurrection.
Okay, where are all of these activists before January 6th and now? I mean,
wait a minute. Hold on. Let me just say this. We weren't the ones burning down 595 plus cities and minority businesses. We weren't the ones doing that. Let's just get that clarified right now.
Oh no! Those were peaceful protests.
Oh yeah, that's what
they were peaceful.
That's what Christina Cuomo said, right?
Right. They were peaceful protests as they attacked a federal building in Portland.
It was a peaceful protest when all those so-called minority-owned businesses were being burnt down. Wait a minute. Aren't the minorities the one they supposedly want to protect?
Right. Minority-owned businesses that their business owners, a minority owning a business. Isn't that what the American dream's about?
Yeah, exactly.
The pursuit of happiness, that little part, the pursuit of happiness, come to this country and own your own business, be your own boss, and prosper?
Yeah, the pursuit of happiness.
Isn't that what we're supposed to be?
Oh, we're supposed to be that country, bro.
Yeah. And they think that country was at one time called the United States of America. I don't know.
Yes, at one point, yes, yeah.
Now.
I don't know.
I think we might just call ourselves United States of Mexico.
Or United States of Control.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
United States of wokeness.
Wow.
Explain to me how less than 1% of this country is wagging the other 99%.
Wow.
I don't get it.
Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Yeah.
It's crazy.
This is what happens when people don't speak up, though, Rudy.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
This is what happens when people do not go out and vote. You've got two responsibilities as a citizen of the United States. As a citizen of the United States, you've got two responsibilities, two duties.
Yeah.
What are those two duties?
Yeah.
One of them people try to get out of all the time. You get that letter in the mail. You've got jury duty. What do people try to do? They try to come up with every excuse under the sun to get out. They don't want to protect another citizen's Fifth Amendment rights.
That's crazy.
You don't want to protect your fellow person's Fifth Amendment rights?
You don't want to protect your fellow man or woman's Fifth Amendment rights.
Don't want to do that. And your other duty is to vote. That's you have to do that. What, every 2 years? You need to vote?
Yeah.
You
can't. This is what happens even more when people don't step up.
We are at war with these people. These folks are evil. There is an ultra-right MAGA contention in this country that wants to overthrow the U.S. government.
It is
Really?
a danger to our democracy. It is
What?
a danger
There
to
they
our
are
way
with that
of
word
life.
again,
The
folks.
MAGA movement is a threat.
The extremists that we're dealing with every single day, we've got to kill and confront that movement.
Clearly, this is
MAGA. It's got to be MAGA.
literally
MAGA,
call
but
to
ultra MAGA.
arms.
Obviously, Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right wing.
Okay. You see that
Ultra
black lady
MAGA.
right there? You see that black lady right there just like
Yeah.
straight up propagating all this stuff?
Yep.
I think she needs to go and learn from the history books that the biggest division of the Republican Party was started by free slaves.
Yep.
So
Yep, it sure was.
that's another reason why a lot of people are dumbfounded. And I'm glad you have a charity organization that's going to give the children the tools to really learn the truth about American history.
Yeah, it's called Tools of Learning for Children, FOR Children, and you can find us at Tools for Children, Tools of Learning for Children, FOR Children.org. You can go find us there.
Yeah, that's insane. And please support too. You can buy a cup of coffee. You can support this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
In the
That's all.
cause.
That's all it takes. You know, if you'd be willing to buy me a cup of coffee, you'd be willing to, take care of kids. You know, that's all it takes. Just go to Tools of Learning for Children, FOR Children.org, and you can, buy us a cup of coffee there. Donate. Pry open those little books. So you're willing to spend $2.99 on a video game on your phone so that you can get more coins or take care of your chickens online. Can you spend $2.99 to help a kid?
Man, and you know what's crazy? People are like, "Oh, see those MAGAs, the MAGA crowd."
Yeah, but who said it first? Who said MAGA
Oh
first?
man,
Yeah.
should we show them who said it first?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, sure.
Should
We
we
should educate the
definitely-
public.
Yeah, why not? This is a great educational course.
Exactly.
I mean, we want to teach you that if they're going to go after the MAGA crowd, that means that they're probably going to go after their own too, after they're getting, the so-called people that started MAGA out of the way.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Is
We
that-
should get
is
those
that
those
what that
people who
is?
started it, the people who said it first, the people who supported this great person
Yeah.
in their organizations. They said
But
it first.
we don't like the fact that those people are saying they're going to make America great again. That's not good.
Yeah, make
Yeah.
America, ultrally make America great.
Yeah,
again.
they said ultra mega, folks.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Ultra mega.
Yep.
Well, hold on
Yep.
here.
You should say that with that echo voice.
Yeah,
You should
I
do-
should, huh? I should come out and say ultra mega. Yeah, that's basically what I should say.
And who said it first? Who said
Okay.
it first?
Let me help myself here. Yeah.
That together we can make America great again.
Mhm.
I want to attack these problems and make America great again. Paid for by Clinton for president. And now you are being called upon, every one of you, to secure a better future for your children and your grandchildren, and
what
to
is
make
it?
America
For who?
great again economically, educationally, and socially. It's time for another.
See,
Who? To make it better for who? Did he say
What?
children? Did he say
What?
children?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go to toolsoflearningforchildren.org and you can, make it better for them. Make it better for children. Because certainly
minute.
schools aren't doing it.
But wait a minute. The mega crowd is dangerous. Oh, but we have to say the ultra mega.
The ultra mega crowd.
Yeah.
The ultra mega crowd. They're the
But
ones
you
who
have somebody that the people of Arkansas wanted to kick out. Say it first.
Exactly.
I just don't understand how people don't get this.
Well, Arkansas obviously got it because they voted Sarah Huckabee to be their
Oh
their
yes,
governor.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders, right? Sarah
Yep.
Huckabee Sanders. Now, no relation to Bernie Sanders, so let's
No.
get that out of the way. But her dad, Mike Huckabee, is one of the nicest guys. I've
Mhm.
never met him, but you can just tell he's a genuine guy.
Hey, you know what? He supported me in my last run. He supported me in my last
Nice.
run. And I'm really
Mm.
grateful and thankful to him for, and his organization for reaching out to those of us that are grassroots guys that are just trying to make it. He really helped us out, So,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
He puts
That
his
guy.
money where his mouth is. Basically.
Yeah, those ultra MAGA people. Those
Mm.
ultra. It's not just enough that you're MAGA, but you're ultra. You're ultra.
Say it with me one more time. Say it one more time, brother.
It's like ultra MAGA.
Yeah, the ultra mega crowd, people. Don't hey, and it's crazy. Did you know that actor? And I don't agree with his politics, but there was something that he said that got him like chastised by his left wing cronies. He said, "Hey, I ran into some of those MAGA people, and they're actually really, really nice people."
Yeah.
And he got browbeaten for that.
Yep, exactly. And he's a pretty famous dude. He's a pretty famous dude who, who's doing that. So
yeah, and they browbeat him for that. I'm like, really? Just because he said something nice about somebody else on the opposite side of the aisle.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They're
like, oh no, that's not the narrative we want to push out there. We want to push that they're all evil. We got to run them off to the camps, So you're killing our agenda here, Matt.
I mean, seriously, how can you dislike a person just because you may find out that they are on the opposite side of the aisle from you? Well, you walk up to them, you're introduced to them, you're having a beer with them, you're talking, you're having a good time at a party, and then next thing you know, they find out that you're on the other side of the aisle and like, oh my God, I don't like you now. I'm like, what'd I do? I haven't done anything to you since we met.
Yeah, I've shown you nothing but genuine kindness.
Exactly. And now all of a sudden you don't like us? So, hey.
And then they want to know why that there's a lot of people that have exited that party.
Exactly.
Because let me tell you, this is what you get when you deal with a Democrat Party. And I think that like liberalism is a disease. So I'm going to show you why liberalism is a disease. They probably might understand the words that are coming out of this person's mouth.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Yeah, but you know what? It's not just the liberals; it's the ultra liberals.
The
ultra liberals.
Ultra lib.
It's the ultra liberals.
Yeah, you know what? We must give them some love. The ultra liberals.
Yep. The ultra liberals. They're the ones that are trying to protect us.
Man, all you can do is laugh at a lot of this stuff too, man, because you know that it is a bunch of Billy-Dally nonsense.
Yes, very, very, very much so. I mean, they want to kick us off the committees in Congress, and thinking that if we get them off the committees, things are going to be better. They don't realize that plays both ways. That plays both ways. If you're gonna, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Right?
And this pastor said it right. Listen to this guy.
Matter. So all of you jokers who thought politics doesn't matter, I hope you're changing your mind, because it matters from war and famine and decadence and what we're leaving for our children and our grandchildren. Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Exactly. Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
He said it right there.
Yeah. And you know what? It's the clergymen of our country should be standing up for the rights of the people. I mean, Jesus did it. Jesus stood up for the rights of the people. He stood up for the rights for the people to think on their own. That's why he came. That's what his message was. And he put away the laws of in the Old Testament, they sacrificed children to God. That was the whole thing. And he said no more.
Yeah, they were sacrificing to Moloch.
They sacrificed it to God. They were taking.
Yeah, isn't that
crazy? I mean, what wasn't it Abraham?
Yeah,
wasn't it Abraham where God told him, "Hey, take your son."
Yeah, but you know what? That's how faithful Abraham was to God. He knew that God was not going to let him kill Isaac.
Exactly.
Come on.
Exactly. And he stopped him from doing that. And Jesus came and, how does the old song go? Jesus loves the little children. I mean, he loves all the little children. He loves children.
Yes.
And
he wants us to come to him like that, like a
exactly.
child.
Exactly. And our clergymen should be out there preaching that word. They should be talking about that. Prop 1 in
Yeah.
California should have never ever passed if the Christians had
You know what?
got out and vote.
Hey, what's the one guy that was getting fined by Gavin Newsom? McClure, wasn't that his name? McClure, Rob McClure,
Well,
pastor up in the Bay Area. I think it's in San Jose or near the Silicon
Rob
Valley.
McCloy?
Yes, that
McCloy?
guy. It was him and 3 other pastors that I know personally that were the most vocal, outspoken. It was him and Pastor Tom Hughes, Jack Hibbs, and James Cadiz. Those were the like the main 4 guys that were speaking out against it. And my boy Tim Thompson out at 412 Marietta, Temecula Valley area. I'm like, dude, these are the only guys that are speaking out against this. There's so many churches in California that were folding like end tables.
Yep.
Crazy, man.
Yep. And I'm
like, are you serious?
And for what? For congregating? For congregating? That's what they were getting them for?
Mhm.
But you know what?
Oh, bro. And those churches that folded, they were taking the money, not realizing that, you know what? Now you're owned by the state. You're a state church now. You didn't read the fine print in the contract there, buddy.
Exactly. Maybe they should have put up polls in the church. They should have put up polls in the church, and just like that. Did you see that one pastor? I forgot who it was. But he actually he actually removed his tie, or quote unquote, he stripped his tie off of his shirt so that he could claim that he was stripping. So therefore they could stay open.
Yeah, exactly. That was awesome. Have you heard of Pastor Greg Locke?
No.
Dude, you got to look him up. He was one of the first ones to stay open too. He says we're not doing that. And he banned certain things that you shouldn't have to wear in the church. Yeah, he banned the face diapers. He said, if you want to do that, you can go to that other church down the street. Basically, there's no backbending to the government here.
Yep, exactly.
And they say, and I always love it when the loonies always want to say, well, separation of church and state. Well, you better read the Constitution properly. You better read the First Amendment, because the first is to protect the church. That was protecting the church from the oligarchy of the government.
Exactly. That's what it was there for. And show me where in the Constitution it says separation of church and state. I didn't read that in there. Did you? I didn't read it in there.
No. I'm trying to find it, but it doesn't exist.
Wait a second. Look at the asterisk. There's an asterisk down at the bottom. I think in Article 1, Section 15.
Blah, blah, blah.
Section 15.
Hold on. Let's see.
It says asterisk down at the bottom. Is it in your version of the Constitution?
No.
Or was it
see that.
Article 2, Section 27 of the? Is it in there? There's an asterisk in there someplace. I know there's got to be one. There's got to be one. There's an asterisk in there someplace.
It's got to be
at the bottom.
It's got to be an asterisk. It's the separation of church and state.
Exactly. No, it's not in the Constitution.
It's not here, folks. It's not here. Come on. It's not here. It's not in this Constitution. And this is a copy of the original documents that the founding forefathers put together.
Mm-hmm. And that's the whole reason for the First Amendment is to protect the church. It's there to protect the church. We knew that we could not be a religious country. We could not be a country that had a central church, but it didn't mean meant that our country would be run by God-fearing people. It gave us the freedom, so that God-fearing people could represent us, so they could practice their religion, whatever that religion is. They could practice
100%. Yes, absolutely. But you would always get people to try and argue, no, there's no separation of church and state. Get out of here with that nonsense. Get out of here with that.
Yep, exactly right.
What are you reading? Are you reading your democracy constitution that you want to put into play?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're reading,
Yeah.
bro. That's what they're
Yeah.
reading.
And we in no way, any way, shape, or form are we a democracy. We are a constitutional representative republic. We are
Yes.
constitutional representative
Please say it
republic.
to him. Say it to him one more time in
Hey,
echoing.
Constitution representative republic.
There
That's
we
what
go.
we are. I mean,
And that's another free lesson.
there you go. Because you know what? You know how they describe democracy, right? It's two wolves and a sheep deciding what they're going to have for dinner.
Exactly. And then they eat each other from within.
Exactly. And they're doing that now. They're doing that now.
Sounds
to
like
their
Reader
own.
fans. Yeah.
They're doing that now to their own. They're taking down their own people if they don't believe in the way that they want them to believe. If they believe in anything contrary to what they believe in, they're taking them down.
Yeah. It's like a certain actor, I forget his name, said, he goes, yeah, the thing is, if you don't agree with their narrative, they'll drop the N-word on you in a second. But they'll claim that they're not racist.
Yep. Yep.
Oh man. Yeah, it's so funny. And you know, there's a video, you got to check it out. I'm pretty sure you saw it. The father of Christina Wallace. You know who Christina Wallace is, right?
No.
She used to work at Fox News. She used to host Fox News Sunday. And she has a dad named Mike Wallace. Yeah, everybody's like, why is he calling that person Christina? It's really Chris. So no, it's Christina. So the thing is, Christina Wallace's dad was on with Morgan Freeman once, and he asked Morgan Freeman, "Oh, don't you think it's great that you know they have Black History Month?" He goes, "No, it's American history." He goes. So should, what are you? He goes, well, I'm Jewish. He goes, you think they should have a Jewish History Month? He goes, well, no. He goes, well, why should they have a Black History Month? He goes, but it's trying to, hit the issue of racism. And then Morgan, he goes, so how do we hit this? How do we stop? How do we talk about this issue? Morgan Freeman goes, stop talking about
Exactly. Exactly.
Made that demon melt in his shoes. Right there.
And if you go, you know how they stopped the genocide in Rwanda? You know where that country is, right? Yeah.
Yes.
They stopped the genocide in Rwanda by, guess what? Not identifying race.
Yeah, exactly.
Took race off of all identification. They didn't make it a requirement for you to identify your race, and magically all of the deaths stopped. It stopped. It stopped people from hating each other. It stopped people from killing each other just because you were from a different race.
Yeah, it's sickening. And JD Rockefeller even had a writing saying, hey, we're doing this on purpose to pit people against one another, to put them in debt, keep them down, and make sure that they're all bottom feeders, basically, so that they could take control.
Yep.
That's basically what it is. It's all about, it is a control factor. It's nothing to do with the shade of someone's skin at the end of the day.
That's exactly right. That's exactly correct.
Yeah.
But that's how come we need to teach the children that. I mean, children are not inherently racist. I don't care what anybody says.
No.
You put a bunch of kids of different colors, different races, put them in a playpen, okay? They don't care. That's because racism
they have more sense than the adults.
Exactly. Racism is taught. Racism is taught. That's taught to children. That's taught to children. That's why I've got the tools of learning for children. .org. That's tools of learning for
please go to that website and buy them a cup of coffee. Buy them a cup of coffee at that website, folks, right now.
Just click on that donate button and just, go ahead and buy that cup of coffee, because, we need to teach children properly. We need to give them the tools and the skills for life. I mean, what's the hardest thing to be able to do is live. And that's what's codified, and that's what's protected by our Constitution. The first thing on there is life. Life. And then liberty.
Liberty.
And a pursuit of happiness.
Pursuit of happiness.
That's all we want. That's all we want.
Yeah.
We want the government out of our pockets, out of our bedrooms. Just stay out. Just stay out.
Yeah. And let's abolish the IRS while we're at
that would be a good idea. That would be a good idea. I mean, I wouldn't mind paying 30% if that means that I don't have to pay an annual tax to the government.
Yeah, exactly.
I would rather pay 30% on all my goods and services than to have to pay annually to the government, because they take enough of my money as it is. They take enough of
Yeah,
my
they get
money.
enough in city, state, and federal taxes on your
Yeah,
products.
and guess who pays the most? Because in this country, we've got a progressive tax system. You understand that? What does progressive tax mean? That means if you don't make much, you don't pay much. If you don't make much, you don't pay much. If you make a lot, you pay more. You pay a
Yeah, but
ton
guess
more.
guess who that trickles down to? The people that don't make a lot.
Exactly.
See, people don't realize it trickles. It's a trickle down effect, and they know it.
Yep. And you know what?
Yeah.
And the people who make the most pay the most. They pay the most. And you know, yeah, they may have $1 billion. They may have more money than you, but they're paying 30% of that to the government.
That's insane.
You make $1 billion, you're paying 300 million. You're paying 300 million to the government.
And you know what happens? They have to cut out jobs and goods and services.
Oh yeah, but those corporations don't pay anything in taxes. Bull crap. If anybody has ever owned a business, you know that you have to pay your taxes quarterly. And if you're smart, you prepay them monthly.
Yep.
So they're paying taxes. They're paying taxes every month, all the time. They're paying hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes every month. And then on top of that, the people who they give jobs to, they're paying taxes. So if the billionaire didn't make the job to pay the person, then how could that person pay taxes?
Exactly. That's where it comes in, where the government needs to keep their hands out of the pan.
Exactly. So I mean, come on now. I mean, understand what's going on. Understand your government and understand the system. Understand the way that it works, and that the Constitution is there to protect you. And you should not be electing people in the Congress who aren't going to protect you.
Exactly. 100%. You know what, Rudy? You know how we talked about Schoolhouse Rock?
Yep.
Check this out.
A media outbelief. The whole media is controlled by a few corporations thanks to deregulation by the FCC.
You mean Disney, Fox, Westinghouse, and good old GE?
They own networks from CBS to CNBC.
They can use them to say whatever they please and put down the opinions of anyone who disagrees.
Or stuff about PCBs.
What are PCBs?
They come from electric power plants built by Westinghouse and GE.
They can give you lots of cancer that can hurt your body.
But on network TV, you rarely hear anything bad about the nuclear industry.
Like when Westinghouse was sued for fraud.
Which time?
When GE made defective bolts, it was an unreported crime. Or when it was boycotting building nuclear bomb plants just to squeeze a dime.
That's a footnote, by the way.
A footnote protects you from folks who doubt what you say. Now maybe the voices in my head will go away.
That's great. That's awesome. They let the cat out of the bag before the cat even got out.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's great.
Total control, right? There you go.
Yep. That's
wow.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. That's awesome that they put that out. And where did you find that at?
I had a good friend to send it to me, and I said, "Oh man, I'm going to use that video eventually."
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, and you know what? I mean, it's people need to understand. I mean, Schoolhouse Rock when we were growing up was a great thing. Everybody remembers that. In our generation, everybody remembers Schoolhouse Rock. Everything from Conjunction Junction, what's your function? You know, I'm only a bill. I'm just a bill. I'm here on Capitol Hill. And it taught us how it taught us what, you know, it kept it in our head as to what our government does. And people are they're just so apathetic to voting. They don't realize that their vote actually counts. I mean, how many people have you talked to that said, "Oh, why vote? My vote, it's rigged and my vote doesn't count."
But your vote does count. Like, put it this way, people. The day that you do not vote is the day that you voted.
Yep. You sure did.
Put it
You
that
just
way.
voted for the
So
other
you
side.
voted. Yes. You voted for evil when you don't vote for good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So don't give me this my vote doesn't count business.
Yep. You know how many okay, so they say that all politics are local, right? All politics are
Mhm.
local. In my district, we had in one town, there were 3 city council seats that were decided by less than 5 votes. One seat was lost by
That's
1.
terrible.
One seat was lost by 1 vote, and 2 more seats were lost by 2 votes.
You've got to be
That's
kidding
all it
me.
was. That was the only separation. Was 1 and 2 votes. That's it. So just think if 5 more people came out and voted, they could have
Mhm.
they could have pushed it to a runoff. If 5 more people came out, if 10 more people came out and voted, they could have flipped the entire city council.
Oh, that would have been a sick move.
We're talking 10 people. Your vote counts. Whoever you are, your vote counts. Don't think that it doesn't count because you're not going to mess with local races. They're not going to get down, and mess
Mhm.
with what's happening at the local level because they think they got it all rigged.
You know what's crazy? Not enough people voted in the November election for California.
Mhm. Not enough.
Period.
We had 56%.
Not enough. That's horrible.
We should have got more people out there. More people should have got
Mhm.
out there and voted, but
40
they didn't.
40 million residents in California, and not even close to half of that voted.
Yep. Exactly.
That's crazy, man.
Mhm.
And people are like, "Well, I'm not going to vote because it just doesn't." It does
Yep.
count.
You're
I vote counted.
Mhm. It
I know my vote
it
counted.
I know mine
But
counted.
yeah, but it didn't go the way we desired it to go because everybody else was sitting on their hands and said, "Well, I'm just not going to vote because my vote doesn't count."
Well, your vote does count.
And I'm like, "Okay, a bunch of crybabies.
Yeah.
Cool."
And that's how come we need to teach the kids. We need to teach the kids
Mhm.
properly on how it actually works and how to look at both sides.
Mhm.
There was a good teacher. He works up in Winters now. And he actually he had the students write letters to the candidates and he invited both candidates to come in and talk to the students. Okay. I
Mhm.
was one of them. Luckily, I was one of them. And we both came in. We both of us made our pitches, and unfortunately, I lost. But but it was good that he had the kids listen to both sides. It just wasn't a one-sided thing. And how
Mhm.
many people even know who their mayor is? How many people know who their city council member is?
How many people know who the janitor is?
They probably know the janitor
You know what
way
I'm saying?
better than they know their city council person. They
Mhm.
probably know the
Mhm.
janitor way better than they know their city council person, but they don't even know who the person is who's making decisions in their own town as to what taxes they're going to pay within their own city limits. And that affects your property
You know
taxes.
Yeah, you know how you spoke of teachers?
Mhm.
I remember, in the '80s when I was in the 4th grade,
Oh, you're aging yourself.
this one teacher was yeah, I know. I know. Isn't that
Yeah.
cool? So, I just remember a teacher, she's saying this very blatantly. She said this. She says, "If you do not ever vote, you have no right to complain about anything."
Exactly.
I was like, "Wow, really?" And she said it very adamantly too. And she stressed it. She goes, "If you do not vote, you have no right to complain.
That's absolutely true.
Don't complain if you don't
That's
vote.
absolutely true.
Don't say anything if you don't vote.
That's absolutely true.
Because when you don't vote, guess what? You made that vote
Yep.
count."
And don't complain
When you
about
don't vote.
crime if you're not going to serve your jury duty. If you're not
Yeah.
going to do your duty to protect other citizens' Fifth Amendment rights, if you're not going to don't complain.
Yeah.
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 We only have 2
It's
duties in
insane.
this country. Only 2 duties in this country. That's jury
Yes.
duty and voting. Those are your only 2 duties as a citizen. Other than that, you should go about live your life freely. And people don't want to do either. They try to get
Yeah.
out of jury
And you know
duty
what
and
the
they won't vote.
And you know what the problem is too? A lot of people don't want to stand up for anything. You know, the old saying, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for everything.
Exactly.
And that's what's happening right now. Folks are falling for the oldest con job in the book, the banana and the tailpipe
Yep,
trick.
that's exactly right. It's true. I mean, and
might as well get Joe Biden's pigeon drop move on there too and funnel more money.
well, there you go.
Yeah, big guy's got to get 10%.
Mm-hmm. Got to get his 10%. 10% for the big guy. That's where it's going to go. Got to pay for him. Got to take care of the big guy.
You know, it's crazy, man. I think Hunter Biden was leaving all this stuff open because I think he was like looking for a cry for help. Like,
yeah, like save me from this insanity.
Save me from my dad. He's a nut
Exactly.
job.
I got to pay half of all his bills. I got to take care of his house in Rehoboth Beach. You know, I got to pay $50,000 a month for rent. That's crazy.
And you know, his daughter Ashley has no love for him.
No. I mean, well, they took showers together, didn't they?
Yeah. What a sick bastard. All right.
Hey, you know what? We're still on the air, by the way. But we survived more than 5 minutes.
Yes. Yeah, we sure did. So let everybody know how they can get a hold of you, brother
You can
Rudy.
just go to Tools of Learning for Children. That's Tools of Learning for Children, FOR children.org. Just go there and there's a contact me. You can contact me through there, or you can buy me a cup of coffee. Just hit that donate button and you can buy the kids a cup of coffee. Buy the kids some milk.
Yes.
I mean, we're just trying to provide the tools of learning for children so that way that they can learn, especially a lot of these homeschoolers, they need the help. They don't have the funding to buy a lot of these educational materials or whatnot. And we're just here to help. Or we can even buy a pair of cleats for a kid who wants to get onto a soccer team. I mean, with those cleats, that could change a child's life because they're able to play soccer.
Can you imagine being a part of changing someone's life? That's amazing.
Yep.
That's an amazing accomplishment.
Yep. And it's just as simple as buying a cup of coffee. So go to toolsoflearningforchildren.org, Tools of Learning for Children, FOR children.org. And, just go to that donate and just donate a little bit. You don't have to donate a lot. If you can do that, once a month or something like that, that'd be great. Because you'll be helping out kids around the world. So I don't want this to be just anything about just Northern California. I want to take it statewide. I want to take it nationwide. I want to take it global because we can help those kids.
Brother Rudy, you got to come back again, bro. You have to come back again.
Will do. I'll come back.
All right. That's awesome, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Rudy Recile. Woo! Yes, indeed. May God richly bless all of you, my beloved, and may God bless America. Please love and follow this channel. Subscribe right away. And yes, Rudy does a show with Charlie Simons called Boots on the Ground podcast. You can find that on Rumble,
you can
right?
find us on Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble in the jungle, baby. God bless you. We love you. And